Alright, Schlockmeisters fans, gonna watch something here. The ASPHYX 1972. Let's check it out. The movie starts with a violent car accident. 2 people dead there, perhaps a third.
My God, this man's still alive.
The first scene in the film was taking place in the 1970s. Now we've gone back 120 years to jolly old England.
Oh, I have a little surprise for you.
Father?
Anna and I have decided to get married at once.
When exactly?
This Saturday, in a few hours.
So he's getting married to Anna.
Research. How long have you been involved in it?
So many years now.
And your photography?
Early days. You will think it preposterous.
Guess what he takes pictures of?
Positively macabre.
I can think nothing unless you explain.
My colleagues and I
Sir Edward, whom I've met.
photograph the dead.
Now we're going to see some of his work.
A smudge here. And another one here.
Each of the subjects in the slide Sir Hugo has shown you was about to die. I myself took the first slide at the moment the subject died. Sir Hugo took the second slide.
And also recorded a man in the process of dying. Gentlemen, what you have seen, what we have recorded, is the soul at the moment it departs the body.
So later on they're out kind of having a picnic or something, and he's filming as this happens, this accident. Later on they find Anna's body.
It's Anna.
Of course, as you may have noticed, he was filming when this event occurred.
The smudge!
What is it? It moved.
He has a term for what he calls this.
They called it the ASPHYX. It manifests itself only in times of danger, having photograph it.
Photograph a hang. So that the whole barbarous spectacle is put on record.
What?
So because he and his friends are against capital punishment, he agrees to film a hanging. And of course, he captures
I tell you, it saw me. The hanged man's ASPHYX saw me. That's its ASPHYX.
So now they try to experiment on a guinea pig.
Maybe you can see it better. Keep your booster on. Turn off your booster.
In very Ghostbusters-like fashion, he wants to capture it.
Watch and learn. You've got it. It's like forever.
He believes that the ASPHYX is captured, you can't kill it.
That guinea pig can't die. There's nothing in the world can kill it now. Unless we release its ASPHYX.
They get a hold of some destitute man and bring him there to do some experiments and get a good look at the ASPHYX. The man gets a hold of some acid or something and tosses it.
You've seen for yourself that it is within my grasp. Trap a man's ASPHYX in that beam of light and seal it off so that it has no way of escape and you have immortal man.
I can't even begin to grasp such a concept.
Why? Alice, I need your help. I want you to sum up my own ASPHYX. To trap it and put it in the vault next to my son. If the experiment works, you and I will seal off my ASPHYX in here. Giles, I want you to order me a lock for the door of the vaults. A lock for which there is no key. A lock that will make that door impregnable.
So he wheels up this plan where he's going to electrocute himself, which is going to make it seem like he's about to die, which should bring the ASPHYX out. That thing, by the way, is the vault.
Father!
He lived, the ASPHYX is captured.
Father, it's me.
Father's asphyx will be ensnared for eternity.
Giles tries to convince Doctor's daughter that they should get immortalized too,
Nothing would make me happier.
and then get married.
Then let him immortalize us both.
Come to nothing.
Do not question me. I want you to marry Giles. I want you to have children. I will immortalize you all. The Cunningham shall survive forever.
So they conduct some sort of experiment on the daughter, in which they pretend that they're going to kill her. She knows they're not going to, though, because they want to get the ASPHYX out.
Give your life for pistol.
Oops.
You can't kill me, Giles. No one can kill me. Between us, we have killed the woman we loved. How am I to expunge my guilt? That may take time. So I must become immortal so that time is mine.
But when they do the experiment, Giles decides he ain't going through with it. Of course, he can't be killed.
Giles! I've killed you.
He has the combination to the vault where his ASPHYX is stored, but he's like, you know what? I have to basically punish myself for the rest of my life, so he burns the combination. I guess there's no other way to get into the vault. Fast forward 100 years, he's now very disfigured. He and the guinea pig are still alive, and the beginning of the film with car crash. All right, let's talk about the ASPHYX. According to a spreadsheet I keep, I watched this movie 3 years ago. I have no memory of watching it, and that probably was the first time I'd ever seen this movie. I've owned the DVD for 20 years. I recently upgraded to the Blu-ray because I wanted some upgraded, and I figured I'd watch it now and review it now. So again, I have no memory of it 3 years ago. This is allegedly the second time I've ever watched it, but it seemed like the first. But anyway, the movie starts off. There's a car accident in 1970s in London or somewhere, and somebody survived it. And then they cut away to the title screen. Next thing you know, we're back in jolly old England in 1870 or something like that. And some guy named Hugo Cunningham, he's some sort of like scientist type guy, is returning home to his palatial estate. His family's come. His son is there, his daughter. His daughter brings a boyfriend who's they want to get engaged, that sort of thing. And what he does, he takes pictures of dead bodies, sometimes right at the point of death, or him and his colleagues do. And they've noticed that there's a little smudge in some of the pictures. And they believe that that is the soul leaving, because all the pictures have that same thing in common. There's a smudge right when the person dies. So what could that be? So he just considers, well, that must be the soul leaving the body. He tries an experiment where he films with a video camera, actually, a primitive video camera, somebody being hung, being put to death, and sees the same thing. He tries an experiment with a guinea pig, sees the same thing, and he gets this idea, well, what if we capture the he calls it the ASPHYX, this little smudge, which is like a creature type thing, like this little lighted creature type weird looking thing, which kind of looks like that if you look close enough. And he believes they can capture it, kind of like the Ghostbusters did, keep it. And if the ASPHYX only appears when you're about to die, but if you don't actually die and you capture the ASPHYX, you're immortal. You can't die ever. I'm not sure how he concluded that, but apparently that is the case. So his son ends up dying in an accident, and his fiance dies. Dr. Cunningham's fiance dies too. And he basically says, I want my line to continue. I want to make myself immortal. I want to make my daughter immortal, and my future son-in-law Giles. So he has Giles help him with his experiments. He ends up capturing his own ASPHYX, and he tells Giles, lock it in the family tomb downstairs with a combination lock, and don't tell me what it is. I want to live forever. And then later on, he convinces his daughter and Giles, I'll immortalize you too. Therefore, you can live forever. Our line can live forever, that sort of thing. But an accident occurs, and his daughter gets her head cut off. Giles is beside himself, and he basically makes it seem like he's going to help with the experiments further, but he ends up committing suicide by blowing himself up. Of course, you can't kill Dr. Cunningham, because he's immortal, he survives the explosion, realizes he's going to live the rest of his life in torment, and he deserves to live in torment. So he doesn't open the combination. He has the lock to the tomb, but he burns the combination. I'm sure there was another way to get in there if he had to, but whatever. He accepts his fate, grabs the guinea pig, which is also immortal, and next thing you know, we fast forward 100 years, and he's involved in that car accident, and he survived it. So there you go. He's living forever, Dr. Cunningham. That is the ASPHYX. You know, again, I don't know if, honestly, if I did see it 3 years ago, I certainly didn't pay attention to it, but I paid attention now, and I really enjoyed this movie. I've been aware of this movie since the 80s. We had a catalog, I think it was a United Home Video catalog, that had a picture of the ASPHYX in it, and it looked pretty cool. So I was always aware of this. I just never got around to actually watching it. So, but now I have it immortalized on Blu-ray. I actually watched the extended version. There's 16 extra minutes on a longer version on this. There's 2 cuts on here. The extended version, the quality wasn't as good. They could not get a good print of those extra scenes. So you could definitely tell. In fact, I had at least 1 scene, maybe 2, where I actually showed you what the quality looked like. So if you see some worse quality, that's the reason. So anyway, that's the ASPHYX. No nudity, a little bit of gore here and there, but kind of a fun little horror flick. So check it out. Leave some comments. I'll leave a link to the Blu-ray down below, and you should definitely get this one. It's a cheap Blu-ray, so go check it out. Leave some comments. Watch it. Bye. The ASPHYX.